Did you know that some ancient civilizations believed chanting over cuttings in water could make plants grow faster? Sounds wild, right? While chanting may not help, there are science-backed steps and common mistakes to avoid for successful water propagation. Hello and welcome back to Don't Do This Guide. Today we're discussing water propagation mistakes that hurt your chances of growing healthy plants. If your cuttings turned slimy or roots never took off, you're in the right place. Our journey begins with the cleanliness of your propagation vessel. Imagine a tiny cutting, freshly snipped from its parent plant. It's now venturing into the world alone, dependent on its new environment. A container harboring bacteria can spell disaster for our cutting. Just as we wouldn't start a meal in a dirty pot, we must respect our plant cuttings. Thoroughly washing the container with soap and water is crucial. This removes any lurking bacteria or fungi. Create a nurturing environment for our cuttings to thrive. Overcrowding cuttings in one container leads to competition for resources. Each cutting sends out roots in search of nutrients and water. Crammed together, they compete, leading to stunted growth. Envision a well-tended garden with ample room for each plant. Giving each cutting its own space allows them to flourish. They can fully extend their roots and develop into strong, healthy plants. Light, the lifeblood of plants, must be carefully considered in our propagation endeavor. Imagine a delicate leaf, freshly unfurled, suddenly exposed to the harsh glare of the midday sun. The result? A scorched and wilted testament to the power of this life-giving force. Similarly, our cuttings, still acclimating to their new aquatic environment, can be easily overwhelmed by intense sunlight. Direct exposure can lead to rapid water loss, overheating, and ultimately, the demise of the cutting. Instead, we must strive to replicate the dappled light of a forest floor, where sunlight filters gently through the canopy above. Placing our cuttings in a well-lit area, but out of direct sunlight, provides the ideal balance. Just as we wouldn't dream of drinking stagnant water, our cuttings too rely on a fresh and oxygenated supply for their survival. To prevent decay and bacteria, replenish their water every few days. This ensures dissolved oxygen, vital for root health. Water, the elixir of life, is not created equal. While we might quench our thirst with water straight from the tap, our cuttings require a more refined approach. Tap water, often treated with chlorine and other chemicals to make it safe for human consumption, can actually be detrimental to the delicate root systems of our cuttings. These chemicals, while harmless to us, can inhibit root growth and even damage plant tissues. To provide the purest source of hydration, we must turn to either filtered or distilled water. These options have been stripped of harmful chemicals, ensuring our cuttings receive the cleanest and safest water possible. Imagine for a moment a surgeon preparing for a delicate operation. Every instrument is meticulously sterilized, every movement precise and calculated. Propagating plants requires a similar level of care and precision. The location of our cut and the sharpness of our blade are critical to the success of our endeavor. Cutting at the wrong spot or using a dull blade can crush and damage the plant tissue, hindering its ability to absorb water and nutrients effectively. Instead, we must aim for a clean cut just below a node, using a sharp sterilized blade. This ensures minimal damage to the plant tissue, promoting efficient water uptake and reducing the risk of infection. Just as we seek comfortable temperatures and humidity levels, our cuttings too thrive in a specific climate range. Imagine a tropical rainforest with its warm, humid air, ideal for nurturing new life. Our cuttings, in their vulnerable state, benefit from a similar environment. Cold temperatures can shock the plant, slowing down its metabolism and hindering root development. Low humidity, on the other hand, can lead to excessive water loss through transpiration, stressing the cutting and impeding its growth. To create the ideal conditions, we must aim for a warm, humid environment. A warm, bright room away from drafts is a good starting point. When introducing our cuttings to their aquatic nursery, we must be mindful of the delicate balance between submersion and exposure. Submerging too much of the stem can lead to a lack of oxygen, suffocating the developing roots. On the other hand, allowing leaves to dip below the waterline invites rot and decay, jeopardizing the health of the entire cutting. The key lies in finding the sweet spot, submerging only the bottom portion of the stem, ensuring the leaves remain high and dry. This allows the roots to access the water and nutrients they need while the leaves can continue to photosynthesize and support the plant's growth. Once our cuttings have successfully sprouted roots, we might be tempted to think our work is done. However, just like any growing organism, our cuttings require a steady supply of nutrients to thrive. Water alone cannot provide all the essential elements needed for healthy growth. Imagine a child growing up without a balanced diet. They may survive, but they will not reach their full potential. Similarly, our cuttings need a balanced fertilizer solution once roots have emerged. This provides them with the essential nutrients they need to develop strong stems, healthy foliage, and ultimately flourish into mature plants. Our cuttings, having acclimated to water, now face a new challenge: transitioning to soil. Leaving them in water too long can cause water dependency. The transition can be jarring, even fatal. Pot cuttings in well-draining mix once roots are a few inches long. This helps them acclimate and develop a robust root system. Like any good caretaker, we must remain vigilant, observing our cuttings for signs of progress or distress. Regularly inspecting our propagation station allows us to catch any potential problems early on, increasing our chances of success. Are the leaves wilting or turning yellow? This could indicate a lack of water, nutrients, or even the early stages of root rot. Are the roots growing healthily, or are they slimy and discolored? By paying close attention to these subtle cues, we can adjust our care accordingly, ensuring our cuttings receive the optimal conditions they need to flourish. While it might be tempting to create a diverse aquatic garden, mixing different plant species in one container can be a recipe for disaster. Just as different animals have different dietary and environmental needs, so too do our plant companions. Some plants prefer slightly acidic water, while others thrive in a more alkaline environment. Some are more prone to fungal infections, which can quickly spread to their neighbors in close quarters. To avoid these potential pitfalls, it's crucial to respect the individuality of each plant species, providing them with their own dedicated space to flourish. Our cuttings, having successfully sprouted roots, are now entering a delicate stage of development. Their newly formed root systems, still fragile and unaccustomed to the outside world, require gentle handling. Imagine a newborn bird, its delicate wings still developing, being handled roughly. The consequences can be devastating. Similarly, rough handling of our rooted cuttings can damage their delicate root systems, setting back their progress and potentially leading to their demise. The key is to treat them with the utmost care, gently supporting the roots and stem as we transfer them to their new homes. As with all things in nature, propagation is not an exact science. Despite our best efforts, some cuttings may not root, while others may thrive beyond our wildest expectations. This unpredictability is part of the beauty of working with plants. Just as a gardener wouldn't give up on their entire garden because one seed failed to germinate, we must not be discouraged by the occasional setback. Instead, we should view these experiences as learning opportunities, allowing us to refine our techniques and deepen our understanding of the plants in our care. Every propagation attempt, whether successful or not, offers a valuable learning opportunity. By taking the time to reflect on our experiences, we can identify areas for improvement and increase our chances of success in the future. What worked well? What could have been done differently? Were there any environmental factors that might have influenced the outcome? By asking ourselves these questions, we embark on a continuous journey of learning and discovery, honing our skills and deepening our connection with the natural world. If you learned something new or found this video helpful, please hit that like button. It really supports our channel. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, because we have tons more. Don't Do This guides on plant care, household tips, and everyday life hacks coming your way. Turn on notifications so you never miss an episode. Got any questions or personal experiences with water propagation? Leave a comment below. We love hearing your stories and helping you troubleshoot.